welcome to Legends Loading, where five friends get together every Friday and Saturday to roll dice, tell stories, and occasionally ruin each other's plans in the best way possible. For this has just been our weekly game night. Friends around friends around a table, or lack thereof, snacks everywhere, well, for me at least, and a world slowly growing through our adventures. But this time we decided to bring you all along with us. Now, before we begin, there's one thing you should know. This is a homebrew campaign. That means, while we use Dungeons & Dragons as our foundation, we are not always strict about every rule in the book. Around here, we care about what creates the best challenge and the most fun story. So if you hear me say, make a check here, or throw something unusual into the mix, don't worry, that's just how we run our table. My name is Austyn, and I will be your Dungeon Master. I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons for about 15 years now. Grief. I'm old. I started back in the 3.5 edition days and eventually moved into 5th edition, where most of our games take place today. The world we'll be venturing in is called Matalia. Matalia is a fully homebrewed world with its own history, cultures, and mysteries. It has a pantheon inspired by traditional D&D gods, but expanded into something uniquely its own. This world has been in development for about 6 years, growing and evolving every time we sit down at the table or at our screens. While I handle most of the planning and world building, I do use a few tools and engines to help speed things up so we can focus on the parts that matter the most, the story and the adventure. And occasionally I'll even step into the world myself by playing a character alongside the party to help deepen the narrative. So grab a seat, roll some dice with us, and welcome to the table. This is Legends Loading. Let's see what kind of trouble we can get in tonight. And George, would you like to go first? Introduce yourself.
But George, I played D&D about a decade ago, but then I stopped because I had no one to play with, and then I started 2 years ago, was it, Austyn, when we started?
Roughly.
Yeah, and then I've just continued playing over that since then.
All right, Fire.
Okay, what's up? I am Hannah, or also known as Fire. I started playing D&D last year, which was June of 2025. I got into it mostly just because I started playing Baldur's Gate 3, and then was like, yo, I have to play the real thing, so here I am.
What's up? My name's Mason, or Mason Jar, if you're feeling honorific, I guess. I got into D&D pretty much the same way that Fire did, or Hannah. We actually started out the same way. I joined the Baldur's Gate 3 run that she was doing, and then I was like, whoa, this is awesome. And then one of our friends decided, hey, let's try the real thing. So we started to run our own little campaign, and eventually a few things led to another. I met Austyn and invited some of my friends to be a part of his DM group, and we've run a few campaigns, but I'm really excited for this one. This one seems like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Will you go?
Hello, I am Dead to Control, otherwise known as Dead. I've started playing D&D alongside George, as he said, roughly 2 years ago or so. Since then, we have done several different campaigns as a group with a couple different groups that has all led to this. I would like to say that chaos will reign and things will be odd. So please enjoy.
Now we will take our time to actually describe our characters to you so you know who. So you can apply the voices to the characters within the story, and then I will give you a prologue about what happened in the beginning of the last. We did a few sessions to build the chemistry between the characters, and I have a prologue for that, and then a session intro so you guys can understand where we're at. So One of the characters you will see from time to time is Rosalie Cornswallow. Rosalie is a forest gnome of abjuration, a brilliant but slightly nervous scholar whose magic focuses on protecting her allies. Coming from a massive family where standing out is difficult, Rosalie has set out into the world hoping to prove that knowledge, preparation, and a little bit of clever magic can make even the smallest hero shine. She's curious, determined, and just a little chaotic. When experiments go wrong, but she's every bit as fun as the rest of the group. All right, George, will you go with your character next?
Maul is a barbarian of the Totem Warrior, and as of right now, he's currently running away from a past that he's not ready physically, mentally, or even have the strength to fight it. As of right now, he's traveling with the group to hopefully get stronger and hopefully help them with their problems and hopes they help them with his. He is as big as he can be for a red dragonborn, which would be 7 foot. He is decently armed, great sword, javelins, hand axes. He appreciates the fight, ale, and blackberry pie.
All right, Fire, your turn.
So up! My name is Neil, and you better remember it. I'm clearly the strongest person in the party. Everyone would agree with me. I've been traveling with my brother Ophian. You probably have never heard of him. He's kind of useless. Anyways, give me any challenge, I'll succeed it first try. No problems, of course. Oh, I also forgot. See this? It's my longbow. I'm pretty talented with this thing. I never miss. I learned from the best, which was my mother. I aim to grow stronger to protect myself and the people I care about. I can't have that happen again. What happened? Well, everything that I knew, everything that I cared about, all got destroyed and taken away. I'm out here trying to figure out who did it and take back what was mine and make sure that they get what they deserve.
Your turn.
Okay. Nice to meet you. My name is Ophian. I tend to aim to support my a little bit about me. Well, I remember not too much in my earlier years of life. I feel like something happened with my memories, but I do remember wandering a strange place with my parents, and I remember being very happy. Those memories will always be dear to me, but that time came to a close. I don't know why. I hope to find out. That started a new chapter in my life where I found a new family who I wasn't so quick to trust, but their persistence could honestly melt any heart. I even found one who I'd like to call my brother, Neil, even though it's a bittersweet relationship, but it's mostly sweet. And that time too came to a close after some complications with the past, and I'm tired of getting all of the people I love taken away from me for reasons I don't understand. So I guess the reason I'm adventuring is to find out the reasons people keep taking away the ones that I love, find the people I want to hold those relationships with, and forge new ones along the way. And obviously keep the ones that I have. So that's kind of why I'm adventuring. How I'd like to do that. I aim to support the party or whoever I'm traveling with in any way, form, or fashion, but if I see an opening to push our advantage, or if I see something that will spell our doom, I won't hesitate to attack or flee according to the situation. a couple hobbies about me. I won't say I'm the smartest person I've ever seen, but I do like to read books, and I'm always interested in finding out new things. Um, I can be a bit socially awkward, but don't mind that. That's a whole other thing. But I really do like books. I also really like sweets. Bakeries are a must for me anytime I'm in a new town. Uh, and I like to stargaze. I love all forms of nature, but stargazing is one of my favorite pastimes. It really is a beautiful way to look at things and appreciate what nature has given us, and it's also kind of a reminder for me that while things can be beautiful, they can be dangerous as well, and that uh, certain parts of nature are meant to be kept in balance, and that is consistent with all forms of nature, not just the sky. Yeah, that's a little bit about me, why I'm adventuring in some of my past.
Alright, go for it.
My name is Tara von Brock. I am a hexblood. Hag raised. And I know what that means. You're thinking, crooked smiles, stolen children, and deals that rot from the inside. I was raised in a coven and learned how to measure a soul by the example of its voice. I learned how to make promises that coil tight as a wire. And one day, whether I wish it or not, I will become something closer to what raised me. However, I will be given a choice to become like them or to stay as I am. They taught me to prey on desperation, but I prefer consent. They hid knives in their wording. I lay them bare. If you agree to make a bargain with me, you will know exactly what it costs and exactly what it gives. I like deals. I like balance. I like when something broken becomes profitable instead of pitiful. If I take a share, it is because I helped it grow. If I lend my name to something, it is because I intend it to endure. Fear me if you must. Most do. But understand this. When I become a hag, I will not be the kind that starves children and call it cleverness. If I'm to be a monster, I will choose what kind.
Stormhollow offers travelers a glimpse of the Empire's devotion, discipline, and rigid order. But it is still a border town, a place where outsiders, merchants, and wandering adventurers briefly brush against the culture of a far more serious nation beyond its gates. 3 days ago, 5 such adventurers found themselves brought here by fate. Neil Tarum, a wood elf rogue, and his adopted brother Ophian, an Eladrin druid, arrived in Stormhollow while struggling through the aftermath of a tragedy that still weighs heavily on them both. Alongside them traveled Redmaul, a red dragonborn barbarian searching for a path beyond the mistakes of his past, serving as the sworn bodyguard to the ambitious hexblood bard Tara von Blosk, a performer determined to carve out a name worthy of legend. Their paths crossed in a bustling tavern after a brief stop at one of Stormhollow's unusual general stores, a warehouse of goods where travelers and locals alike gather supplies. Between food, drink, and in a spirited arm wrestling contest between Neil and Redmaul, the group met a 5th member, Rosalie Cornswallow, a forest gnome wizard of the School of Abjuration. Rosalie carried with her a problem. Livestock had gone missing from a farm north of town, and supplies had vanished from a nearby warehouse. She believed the 2 incidences were connected, but had no proof. The adventurers agreed to help. At the farm, at the farm of a man named Edwin, they discovered unsettling sights. Hay stacked in strange patterns, crude runic markings, and unfamiliar footprints. Blue scales were scattered among the clues. Their search led them to a massive burrow near a thicket of trees, and the creature that had claimed it, a colossal constrictor snake, erupted from the earth. The battle was brutal. Austyn and Neil both fell unconscious more than once, as the beast crushed and lashed out with terrifying strength. Tara clung to her music, weaving magic through desperate chords, while Redmaw and Rosalie struck back with steel and spell. Again and again, Tara pulled the fallen back from the brink, and in the end it was Austyn who delivered the final blow. But the snake was only part of the mystery. Among the remains, the group discovered ritual markings designed to siphon nutrients and life from the land itself, feeding power somewhere else. And beneath the hay, Edwin's daughter Lysa revealed another secret, a small hidden tunnel. Red and orange scales, blood, kobolds. Exhausted and wounded, the group returned to Stormhollow to recover. Rosalie departed to investigate the clues that they had uncovered, while the others visited a local magic shop. Only to discover it was run by Rosalie's own family. With a few new magical items in hand and their bodies slowly recovering, the adventurers gathered once more at the tavern to rest and await Rosalie's return. 3 days have now passed, and whatever the kobolds were doing at the farm, it is still happening. A cool sea breeze rolls in from the harbor, carrying the familiar smell of salt water, wet wood, and the distant cries of gulls circling the docks. The town is already alive and with activity. Merchants unloading crates, fishermen returning from early tides, and travelers beginning their day along the worn stone streets that lead deeper into the empire of Austyn. But inside the warm common room of the Salted Gull Inn, the morning is calmer. A low crackle of a hearth fills the air while the scent of fresh bread, roasted potatoes, and sizzling bacon drifts into the kitchen. A few early patrons nurse mugs of dark coffee or ale, while the innkeeper moves between tables preparing the morning rush. At a corner table near the window sits 4 adventurers who have spent the last few days recovering from a brutal fight. It has been 3 days since the battle with the monstrous constrictor snake at Edwin's farm. 3 days since the discovery of runic markings, kobold scales, and a hidden tunnel beneath the hay. 3 days since Rosalie Cornswallow left to investigate the clues scattered throughout Stormhollow. The rest of you remain here at the inn, resting your wounds and gathering supplies while waiting for her return. Now the morning sun filters through the tavern windows. Your injuries have healed, though Austyn still bears a few fresh scars from the crushing coils of the serpent, reminders of just how close that fight came to ending very differently. Your food arrives, time passes, and still Rosalie has not returned. The table is quiet for a moment as each of you waits, wondering what the gnome wizard may have discovered during her investigations across the town. As soon as the morning settles in and the tavern slowly fills with the sounds of Stormhollow waking for the day, what would you like to do?
Before I start eating the breakfast, I asked Austyn about her scars and basically saying that it still hurt.
It stings a little bit, but I'll get used to it.
Well, if you're wondering about me, I'm perfectly fine. There's no scratches anywhere.
No one was wondering about you, Neil. You're fine.
Okay.
Neil, how are you doing?
Of course.
Yeah, how am I doing? Yeah, I'm doing perfectly fine. How are you doing, Tara?
I think I'm doing fine. I mean, Red Mole had to go and bang on my fucking door, but I'm awake now. I'm drinking my coffee. It tastes like soot.
Yeah. Medieval coffee, not the best, right?
No, it's not.
It woke you up,
And
though.
I mean, I've only drank a little bit of it because it's pretty much solid. Well, not solid, just feels like Jello. Anyways, I go to drink and I put it down and I'll pull out my lute and start to play, and not to do anything special, but to test the limits of what I can do with it and try and make an illusion appear on the table. Red Maul, a small little Red Maul fighting kobolds.
I like this.
Would you roll a performance check, please?
Sounds good. Performance. How does a 19 sound?
It's a very decent song. It's kind of a rock ballad actually. Like rock and roll is not really a thing yet, but you're making it a thing.
Where it has Red Maul fighting in the center of the table as kobolds appear coming out like plates to come and run at him.
Is he winning?
He looks like he's doing okay, but he's slowly getting overwhelmed. Making it somewhat entertaining as we just, make it to the morning.
As the morning passes, a couple hours later, you guys have all finished a meal. While Red Maul had the most food, he took him the longest because he didn't want to miss a single bite. Hera eventually gave up on the coffee and probably went with tea, a little bit easier to drink in this day and age, and gives you about the same result. And Ophian and Neil tried to coast Ophian into, that hand slap game that people do.
Yeah.
After the third or fourth time getting slapped by the a lot quicker rogue, Ophian immediately bailed out.
This game sucks.
But as you guys sit there, a petite figure bundled in colorful scarves bustles through the tavern door. Her braided auburn hair tucked under a floppy green hat, warm hazel eyes sparkled above rosy cheeks, and she carries a bulging satchel slung over her shoulder. She looks at you guys, and her eyes just widen, and she runs over to you. Oh, good. Edwin described you perfectly, like spotting the right seed in a crowded garden. I am Elleris Goodbarrel, merchant, traveler, occasional problem solver when the weeds get too thick. She gives a quick, friendly smile, but keeps her voice low. Edwin mentioned you. You handled that snake north of his farm. Very impressive work, apparently. And, well, I may have stumbled onto something a bit tangled myself. Her eyes flicker briefly around the tavern again before she shakes her head slightly. Not the sort of thing best discussed over breakfast or in a room full of ears. From her satchel, she produces a folded piece of parchment and gently slides it across the table. Everything you'll need to know is written here, details, locations, and when I'm able to pay for the help. She taps the table lightly with one finger. If you're interested, give it a read. If not, well, no harm done, but I'd appreciate it greatly if you did. And she quickly leaves the... She attempts to quickly leave the tavern after she...
So she, came in, gave us a note, and left?
Yes.
Okay. And what did she say her name was?
Eloise? Goodbarrel.
Eloise?
You probably need help spelling that, don't you?
Yeah.
E-L-O... Actually, I will post it in the Discord. I can do that, can't I?
Eloise Goodbarrel.
Yep. She's a halfling.
And could you describe her? Like, what did she look like?
She was a halfling. A petite figure bundled in colorful scarves bustled through the tavern door, her braided auburn hair tucked under a floppy green hat. Warm hazel eyes sparkle above rosy cheeks, and she carries a bulging satchel slung over one of her shoulders.
There he goes. Well,
I want Neil to take the note and read it.
what's the probability it's poisoned, Neil?
Why would someone poison us? There's no need for this.
Okay, yeah, you open the note. Maybe have.
Didn't she
You
say it
open
was
it?
from Edwin?
Yeah, just like I could say the note was from Red Mall.
Would someone like to roll an insight check?
Okay.
I mean, Neil doesn't think it's poison, so I don't think he should.
13.
The note seems pretty genuine. She just seems like she's very distressed and she hasn't slept in a few days when she was talking to you. So, she seems like she might actually need help.
I think she actually needs help. You look like she hasn't slept in days.
Oh. Well, Neil, you read the note. You want to take the note? You read the note.
Hey, that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
All right.
Neil will read the note.
So the note is very different than what I'm going to say. But this is the basic basis of what you read, right? Ellis Goodberry, a halfling merchant and longtime friend of Mara, has quietly fallen behind on an illicit tax demanded by the Razorback gang. When one of her caravans was hijacked in the wilds north of town, she paid half the value in coin, and the gang seized even more supplies to ensure her compliance. Now, half her incoming wares have vanished. Her shipments are being raided by ruffians just outside of town, and she can't meet their next payment. Too proud to beg openly, but desperate to keep her business afloat. Eloise returns to the party for a discreet investigation, recover of stolen goods, and a final reckoning with the Razorbacks. Along the way, the party, and then so the reward Eloise converts the recovered wares into coin. She can't sell them directly, but will pay the party 300 gold. She's also promising a small magical item and 20% lifetime discount at Good Barrels.
How much? 20% or 25?
20.
So, like, the note basically says that she wants our help against these people that took her stuff and is like doing like the taxes.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, Neil, what does it say?
Yeah, I say exactly that. Yeah. Basically, she needs help. People stole her stuff, and she can't pay back her taxes and stuff because of this. So she wants to see if we can help us.
Well, essentially, Neil, these ruffians captured her stuff, right? And told her, and sent half of it to her, told her they would give the rest back if she paid taxes. She did, and they only gave half of the half stuff that like they only sent half of it back, half of what they stole back, and then they stole another shipment. They're blackmailing her, essentially, is what they're doing.
Yeah,
Yep.
something like that.
So, what does Neil say?
Basically, some people stole her stuff and they're making her pay for it back, but then they just keep stealing more, and she wants us to stop them.
Yeah, that's fine. What's the reward?
Did it say the 300 gold on there?
Yep. She is
Alright,
promising 300 gold, and you can keep, if you find other things on them while you're out there, you can keep that as well.
It seems that the reward is 300 gold, and we get to keep anything we find out there. Oh,
And
it also mentions that we get a 20% discount at,
her
I
store.
think it's her store?
She's a general store owner.
Okay.
Interesting.
Does it mention any way to identify what's her stuff?
We just take whatever the fuck I had. It's fine.
Her stuff, all of her crates will have hers. It does mention that all of her crates have a small symbol, her initials, and a barrel engraved into the crate.
She has a barrel engraved to a crate.
Her last name is
That's what it
Barrel.
says.
Good Barrel.
I know. I a barrel engraved into a crate. Okay. What is everyone think?
From what I've heard of the note and what I've seen of her, I don't see why we shouldn't help her out. She seems like a pretty good person. I'm all for helping out good people.
You want to cause a gang war?
I feel like at that point the gangs should just be eradicated, but I'm not so sure that would be healthy for
Not
everyone around
necessarily. It's just one gang.
Right, but isn't there always kind of like a power balance to these gangs? I'm not too learned about the
Are we
underworld.
wanting to start a gang war? You lose one force, someone's going to claim the land, and some new people are going to claim the area. It'll cause a power imbalance. But I mean, the chaos could be fun.
From what the note says, that they only attack outside of the town.
Yeah, but we'd be eradicating them. It's fine.
No.
Well, if we eradicate them, maybe the town's guard or maybe like some sort of highway patrol can take their place instead of another rival gang. So I'm all for taking that chance.
In that same instance, this is technically the idealism of murder. So if we get caught by guards killing citizens that are gang members, I mean, it's still technically murder so long as we draw first.
In that case, we can just knock them out instead and then show them that we had a commission to do this and claim back stolen goods. And if a few of them die, then at least it was in the name of justice. Or something like that.
I like your moral code. Let's go kill some people.
Right.
Or I'll play him a duet, but
As
you all can kill people.
As you guys discuss this, as the group begins looking over the parchment, Eloise laid across the table, the tavern door opens once more, letting in another small gust of cool morning air. A familiar figure steps inside, Rosalie Cornswoggle. The forest gnome wizard looks a little travel-worn from several days of moving around town. His satchel hangs on at her side, and tucked under one arm is a thick journal stuffed with loose pages, bookmarks, and hastily scribbled notes. She pauses just inside the doorway, scanning the room. Her eyes quickly find the table. Rosalie walks over, pulling out a chair and setting her journal down with a soft thump before climbing up into the seat. She gives the group a polite smile and raises a small hand to the passing server. "Oh, excuse me. Yes, thank you. I'll take whatever breakfast is still warm and tea if you have it." She adjusts her journal slightly, clearly eager to open it, but stops herself. Instead, she folds her hands together on the table and looks around the group. "I apologize for being away for so long. Stormhollow has proven surprisingly complicated." Her eyes briefly flicked towards the parchment. Eloise slid her onto the table, then back to the party. "But before I begin rattling off everything I've discovered, it would be rude of me not to ask." She tilts her head slightly. "What have you all been up to while I was away?" She gestures slightly toward the paper. "It looks like I may have arrived in the middle of something."
You just missed the merchant handing us a note of a job, and apparently she heard about us from you.
Which?
Good
George,
barrel.
she heard about you from Edwin, not Rosalie.
Hmm.
The farmer. You did a good deed, so the town is starting to hear about it, so more people might come forward with more jobs. Rosalie's like, which merchant?
Good barrel.
Oh, Good Barrel. Oh, she's very nice. Very business centric, but she's very kind. Always gave me couple hours of work when I was younger to help pay for my journal and my spellbook. What did she need help with?
She's uh busy with gang problems.
Gangs. Stormhollow?
Yeah. Yeah. The Razorback gang. Right, Neil? That's on the note. Razorback?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
You can read, right?
Yes, I can. What is that question? Of course I can.
Would you all like me to read it?
Can't believe no one trusts me. But yeah, sure, whatever. He just like tosses the paper over.
She scans it pretty quickly, actually. Oh. 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 Okay. So, yeah. Her place things are being stolen by a Razorback gang. I don't know what that is. Don't know what that means. Hopefully it's not turtles, because that'd be weird.
Maybe gorillas.
That's Silverback.
Close enough.
What's the hesitation on taking the job?
None. We were actually just discussing heading out.
Quite a
But
bit of money.
quite a bit of money to cut under store.
Divided that by 5 people, that would roughly be
And did you?
6 gold?
And maybe I'll sweeten the pot for you guys a little bit. So Stormhollow has a very anti-organized crime policy. They have a bounty that if any gang or mafia should form in or around the town, they will offer an award appropriate to their crimes if we stop them.
So we can make someone do a crime and then technically arrest them?
That's not
Or
at
did they
all
just have
a
to be
good
reported
thing
for
to
doing the
do.
crime
No,
before they
it's
or
well,
were killed?
you can report them to the city guard. They can take care of it. Or if it's like outside of town, which is theoretically outside of Stormhollow's jurisdiction, don't think of Stormhollow as a town. Think of it as a state. So it has its jurisdiction, right? And once you're outside of Stormhollow, like Edwin's farm is the edge of Stormhollow's jurisdiction. So anything outside of that is not part of their law. It's in the middle ground. Anything that happens out there, as the Austyn Empire says, is God's will. But they would probably like it if their honest citizens were not being robbed by people outside those city limits taking advantage of it. Just my thinking. Or we could go, with the kobold stuff that we've been talking about.
I feel like we should help Eloise. It'd be helping out the town, and maybe if we show the town that we're here to help, if we investigate further, they'll be less on edge when we show up to a random place, be like, hey, we need to check this place out.
Yeah, there's also the con to that, Mr. Ophian.
That being?
If this job takes us longer than we thought it was going to, and the current situation with the kobolds gets worse.
That's true.
But there's a con to that as well. What if we do the job with the kobold and Eloise loses all of her goods or gets captured? Now, she would have to leave town. I don't think Razorback Gang would ever come into town to do that. It's not very smart. I mean, let's be clear. While they don't hold the flags when they're in town because of the laws, pirates are known to come here. And most of the people who come to this town generally like Eloise because she will help them out. She'll give them discounts. She'll give them goods and stuff. She'll trade with them well.
Well, here's the thing. We gotta stock up regardless. So why don't we just stop by the Good Barrels, shop, talk with her, and see which direction we need to head there. Regardless, we're doing both things at once. We need to stock up for the kobolds regardless, and we need to go there to investigate, or at least get the start of where we need to start the investigation. So we can at least go in the same direction and do two things at once.
Brilliant idea. I just thought of it. What if we go to the warehouse with Elise? Let's go get her, and we arrange a deal where they will store any goods they have in that warehouse with Elise in her shop. She can sell them, give them a percentage of her income. That way, they can get some of their stuff taken care of. It's not being stolen by kobolds, if that is what's happening, right? And while they do that, that will give us a little bit longer time, a little bit quicker, more time to deal with Elisa's situation. So we don't have to. Because I bet you she gets some supplies from them. She can't get all of her supplies from inland. She has to. She sells fish. There's an ocean. She has to get it from out there somewhere. Just an idea.
And it's not a bad one either. It also gives Eloise the impression that we're not completely ignoring her and we will take her job. It's just that we're handling multiple things at once.
Yeah, and it gives us a chance to delay both of them. She doesn't lose her money. They don't lose their goods. I mean, yes, they're giving their goods to her, and they're not going to make as much profit. But you would ask business people, them, would you rather lose all your profit or half of your profit? They'd probably say half. And with Miss Tara and her amazing tongue, she don't take that out of context, Neil.
Or do.
We can two birds, one stone. Is that the expression?
Yes, I believe so.
It's up to you guys. I picked the last quest. You guys pick this one.
I feel like we should figure out more by talking to her before she would have ran off, but I guess we go to her shop and talk to her there and at least understand what's going on. We can at least get an idea before we decide which.
Okay.
Plus, if Neil didn't drink all of his healing potions and crack his skull open so many times, maybe we would have some few.
Okay, guys. Enough with the slander. I didn't do any such thing. I still have all of them in my bag.
You just have a cracked skull?
And my broken back to go along with it.
And brain damage?
Yeah.
And Redmull's suffering? Look at him, he's crying. A single tear. That's not sweat.
Red Mulch is dead face right now. Just blank face.
Look what you made him do, Neil.
Okay. So, are we going to talk with Eloise? Yeah. Okay.
Maybe, and this is up to Rosalie, are you staying behind to finish your meal, or are we going to leave before you get your meal?
She takes her pancake and she wraps her egg and her bacon up into a burrito and says, I can eat on the way.
Okay.
Interesting choice to transport your food. I'm not going to speak on it any further.
I'm not transporting it. She takes a big bite. I'm eating it.
What do you eat again, Ophian?
I mainly keep to,
Leaves
vegetables.
and twigs.
I'm sorry? Yes, I eat wood. Yes, wood. Woody in my tummy. That makes so good.
Yeah, I bet you do like wood.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you think that.
Real meaty wood right there.
Yeah, he has a crazy obsession over it. And it's honestly insane. Like I tried to make him stop, but he wouldn't. He was just he just can't stop eating wood.
Yeah, and
Neil,
he
those are
wouldn't.
toys. It's fine.
Get it? He wouldn't. He wouldn't. He wouldn't.
We're all just gonna walk off in silence.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, I'm not answering this guy. I'm
Hey,
ignoring him.
come on, that was funny.
Rosalie's waiting because she kind of figures you guys don't know the way.
Lead the way, little one.
The streets of Stormhollow are still busy as you make your way through the merchant districts. Lanterns begin to glow as the evening lights fades between the buildings. The morning is still coming, by the way. It's still not. It's like 6:30 in the morning. The smell of salt from the harbor mixes with the scent of fresh bread and wood smoke drifting through the air. After a short walk, you find your place you were told about. A small shop sits tucked between two larger buildings. It is windows glowing warmly with soft golden light. Hanging above the door is a painted wooden sign that reads, Good Barrel Sundries. You step into Good Barrel Sundries and it immediately sense a bustle subdued by tension. Half-empty shelves of trade goods, sacks of lantern oil flasks, coils of hemp rope, and battered backpacks line the roughly hewn wooden walls. A brass-scaled cash box sits on the counter beside a ledger stained with fresh grease. A single lantern overhead casts dancing shadows across a large map pinned to the wall, showing wagon routes north of town. The air carries a faint scent of pine wood shavings and dried herbs. Behind the counter, Eloise stands polishing a small brass compass, her bright eyes darting toward the door every few beats. Though the shop looks complete, the gaps on the back shelves hint at a service beyond simple sales. Shipping arrangements, caravan outfitting, and rumor has it, discreet inquiries. What would you guys like to do?
I'll let everyone else do this before I say.
We're just looking for Eloise, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, Tara, you're the talker. Go talk your words at her or something. I don't know what bards do.
You don't know what bards do?
Well, obviously I know what bards do. I just don't know how they do it.
Can I take a look around the store?
Yep.
You said about half the items are missing.
Mm.
Does it look like she has any new stock, or does it look like it's all worn and old?
Roll a
And does it-
perception roll.
Soon as D&D Beyond cooperates. Nice. A 19.
If you look around the shop more carefully, it becomes clear that Eloise's inventory isn't quite what it used to be. The shelves are still filled with items, but there are noticeable gaps between them, spaces where something clearly used to be. A few hooks along the wall hang empty. There's a label still attached. Potion of minor healing, spell ink refined, traveler's warning charm. Several crates near the back of the shop sit open but half filled, as if someone had been organizing stock only to realize there wasn't much left to organize. You can see a ledger that says shipment missing, 3 cases lost, check warehouse again. And a few of the price tags on the shelves have been marked down that are of items that are actually for sale. But there's also a board that has services. One that says cart repair, cavern guard hire, appraisal, packing and shipping, cart storage. So she doesn't just sell items in her store. She also is a shipper. She ships items across the nation. She seems.
All right. And do we find her?
You do find her. I was gonna get to that, but you also find that she has not a small, but a pretty big-sized pit bull. This dog stands up, sniffs, walks over to. Let me roll a check real quick. Walks over to you, Tara. Sniffs your hand, lets out a little small growl, and then sits down in front of you, as if to say, "You're welcome, but I don't trust you."
Eloise, not Eloise. Tara would look at the dog, then look over at Eloise and say, "Seems like this place has seen better days. Might we have a conversation about the parchment you handed us?"
Can one of you close the door?
Sure.
Redmall, would you mind standing guard?
You want me inside or outside?
Inside. I want you to hear what's saying said. We don't want company. If anyone seems to want to come in, make sure that they do not.
You got it. Redmall turns around, shuts the door, and stands in front of it.
It looks like we're alone now.
I think we're alone now.
You guys read the parchment?
Neil did. And Rosalie here.
It's basically what I said there. It's hard to keep my business going when half my goods aren't coming. And of course, the warehouse that I get my other goods are from is losing supplies as well.
Yeah. We were meaning to talk to you about that warehouse portion. It would help us on another aspect of what we're doing.
Yeah,
Rosalie,
right. Edwin mentioned that you guys were investigating the warehouse as well. He said you guys were talking about it on his farm. He didn't mean to overhear you. He just said you guys weren't very quiet about it.
No, we weren't. That being said, we need a few things done. I'm pretty sure Rosalie can explain the details in further, but if we were to do this with you, do this little task of yours, would you be able to help us do a few things?
Well, I mean, I'm always willing to help. I mean, if that's what I need to do to get help in this town, that's what I'm willing to do.
That's good, and I understand that you actually are
as you say that, as you talk to her, she walks over to a little case and starts opening it and revealing her little halfling armor, as if she's like, I guess they want me to come with them.
Okay. I was going to say, and it looks as though you are more willing than most general merchants with your magical wares of potions and charms. From around here, I've noticed not that many allow magical items.
Oh, you have to have a license, and only 3 of us in this town have one. And I only have a license to distribute basic items and then send them along the way. For every 30 magical item I get in my caravans or my cargo, I only get to keep like 2 or 3 to sell. The rest of them go up to the capital so the government can inspect them.
And by chance, if a few were to go missing, would that deviate from the plan?
Those magical items are cataloged and logged, meaning any magical item that is coming through that through the Empire port, Empire ships comes to the warehouses. There are 3 warehouses. There's one for perishables, there's ones for magical goods, and then there's ones for non-perishables. I receive a third of the supplies from each of those places. And then I send about 60% to 70% of most of the goods west to the capital. But I have to catalog all the magical items. Any magical items that come in on cargo in that port need to be registered. With the exception of like healing potions and things like that. They don't really mind healing potions. It seems to be the weapons that burst into flame or the amulets that turn you invisible kind of things that they seem to care about.
So what's going to happen, seeing as 3 cases have gone missing at the warehouse and these ruffians have already been stealing from you before you probably have sent them off?
Well, I don't know.
Are you already a dead person? Are we really expecting our money?
Oh, I have a plan if things go south. I'm just gonna go to the town hall and tell them. They won't do anything to me, but I might have to pay a fine or spend time in jail.
So that comes. Yes, Ophian, you wanted to say something?
May I pet your dog?
It's up to Rufus.
I'm going to inch closer to Rufus. I'm going to let him smell my hand and see if he would allow me closer and allow me to pet him.
He like pushes his head into your hand.
Ooh. I'm going to kneel down on the floor and pet Rufus.
And then part of me is kind of. Part of me is kind of. It's gonna sound bad, hoping that the 3 batshit old ladies are right about what they saw a couple 2 to 3 weeks ago. Which might be a dragon, and maybe the dragon takes care of my issue.
Blue dragon?
I don't know. I only listen to half of what they say, and that half I take with a really big grain of salt because they're nutbags.
Well, what I was trying to get back to earlier, with the magical goods going missing, you're gonna have to pay a fine regardless,
or go to jail. Which, to be fair, at least I'll be safe, roughly, from them.
All I was gonna get at was if we were to get rid of your ruffian problem, would it be more than likely welcome that when we bring back these said goods, that a few magical items go missing?
I can Can you roll a persuasion check?
$25.
He's like, I can try. I mean, I don't want to make any big promises, because.
Well, of course. We don't want you to do anything that would put your neck on the line, but we would like to ensure that these people that are taxing you 70%.
How about this? You complete this job, and then we will discuss that stuff later. Because,
Sounds good, but I want to see that ledger of magical goods.
oh, the ledger for magical goods? No,
Yes.
it is not. I'm not allowed to share that with people. With no offense, non-citizens of the Empire, for starters, and non-government authorized people. Now, if you were to earn, if you earn favor with the mayor or the governor, as we call him, he might be able to grant you a license to see the ledger. And about Rosalie, she may be a magical practitioner, but that's partially the reason why she's also an outcast, and her family is looked down upon. While I don't mind her family, in fact, her family and I kind of have small agreements with not items, but components for magical items. And they are one of the few people in town that have a license to. They are the only people in town that have a license to produce these magical items. So I'm not exactly being devious with it. It's simply that I know Edwin trusts you. I trust you enough to do this task for me, but I have to see you in act. I have to see the results of your labor myself to see if it's one thing to kill a snake, it's another thing to kill an entire band of organized gang. Last time I checked, snakes don't flank you.
Okay. When you say organized, are we talking humans?
So I don't go on the trips myself. There probably are some humans involved. Maybe orcs, which if there's orcs, and you're able to prove that they're orcs, the town hall might give you a reward. Pure-blooded orcs are not allowed in Stormhollow.
All right, writing down a note. Behead all orcs.
So, has anyone reported that, like, these thugs, like, to, like, the government or anything? So, like, that there's a bounty put out on them, or nah?
So I'm the only person that does shipment like this out of Stormhollow or into Stormhollow. I'm the only person in the town that does it. Everybody else who leaves Stormhollow usually leaves either in a small party like yourself. The ruffians are rough, but the Razorbacks are rough, but I think they would take one look at you, 4, she looked at Rosalie, and say, not worth it. And then, of course, the other groups that go are in big, giant caravans, and it's one thing to rob 6 standard-looking cavern guards and a small cavern driver. Cart driver than it is to rob a fleet of them. They seem to pick and choose. And maybe they know me. They know who I am. I don't know.
When are you supposed to pay them next?
A week from now.
That's quite a bit of time. I was hoping like sooner.
But to be fair, they can't really do anything about it until one of my caravans leave, and I have postponed my caravans for the time being. I can send it out now, but I don't have the payment to do that.
Is it empty?
The caravan?
Yeah. What if we take an empty caravan and as you have 5 guards, they might be willing to expose themselves to being taken.
You need a driver.
Well, Okay. And I assume you, or have a hired driver?
I mean, you need a driver, and then I also would have to purchase the horse. I usually rent the horse, but because the horses have gone missing the last couple of times, I've been forced to purchase them now.
Hmm. Hmm. Anyone else have suggestions? Any questions?
Do they need a? Go ahead.
Oaken's a bit too enthralled with Rufus right now.
Wow.
Okay.
Look, Neil, he's even more obedient than you are. If only you could be like Rufus. Isn't that
I
right,
just
Rufus?
walk away. I am not dealing with this.
Oh, of course. Running away from your responsibilities.
Are you wanting one alive for questioning?
I want one alive for questioning.
I want my stuff back, or as much of it as I can get back. Or
Well, I mean, if they don't have a
at the-
bounty on them, aren't we gonna get in trouble for killing them? If we do kill them?
But it's a lawless street to the next town over, so there is no law once we leave city grounds.
yes, Austyn has a very strange rule when it comes to its countryside. Basically, it's in God's hands, meaning that if you're traveling and someone comes out, slits your throat, well, it was to God's will, and they're not going to just argue with that.
Meaning,
I
if we
see.
ever want to do something immoral, all we have to do is drag the body outside of city grounds, and then we can do what we want. An assault charge is not higher than a murder charge. Hello?
Rosalie just says, I mean, kind of. It doesn't mean some of these towns aren't gonna start doing something about it, but it does mean these guards, when they're outside of the city limits, are free game, but it also means you're free game to them as well. So,
Apologies for interrupting again, but didn't one of you mention troubles about a horse or something?
We did. We need a horse.
I can turn into one.
The hell do you mean turn into one?
I'd like to demonstrate, but it is a bit exhausting, so I'll save it for when I actually need it. But just trust me, I can turn into a
What the
horse.
hell is wrong with your brother? Yeah, he
Bro,
was supposed to be the sensible one.
This is the first thing I've heard of this. If you can turn into a horse, why have we walked everywhere?
so
Are you saying we could have
Rosalie,
rode up
deserve
anywhere?
to ride on my back.
Rosalie rolled an Arcana check and got a natural 20. Rosalie
Okay.
looks at you. Technically, she would have advantage on this. We already got a natural 20 because she is a forest gnome. She looks at you and at Ophi and says, "You're a druid."
Why, yes. How perceptive.
Wild shape.
Yes. That is what I'm getting at. Yes.
That's dope.
I'm not.
When did you learn this?
I
At a game, you probably need help, don't you? At a game, you've always had this ability, right?
yeah,
But
I'm
hold
kind
on. At a game, you've always had this ability, but it's always been like Harry Potter and the glass, right?
Oh, okay. I can't
So
control it.
It was always been emotional that you get spotted. When you get angry, you turn into a bear. When you get scared, you might turn into like a cat and run off. I'm not even saying a cat, or a horse. I'd say a cat. Cats are smaller.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. When you get when you're happy, like not happy, but like angry and scared are two of the biggest emotional.
Yes,
fight or flight, and so that's probably what happened. But you being high wisdom have such an emotional control over yourself that you rarely get into those states.
Okay.
But now, over the last few days, you've managed to
Gain more experience and more control over my ability.
meditate, and you feel confident you can control it yourself. Or out of game, you think all someone really needs to do is kick me really hard into the dick, and I probably will turn into something that can pull that cart.
I can do that.
Mhm.
You would be into that, wouldn't you?
I can be.
I don't think I'd be interested in anyone doing that to me.
But that wasn't the point.
Rosalie does say, by the way, as you guys are discussing this, it's like, hypothetically, I just thought of an idea. So she is due within a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that gives us 5 days to solve this kobold issue. Or Elise says, kobolds? Kobolds? What do you mean kobold? Elise? Calm down. Less you know, the better. Unless you're... Never mind. So, what if we, in that 5 days, we solve the kobold issue? Right? Or maybe help the town solve it if we are unable, or if it's different than we think it is. And after those 5 days, the warehouse probably hasn't been able to ship things in a long time outside the town because of you, Elise. Not your fault, but, because you haven't been shipping. So that the warehouse will have supplies to ship. Wait, no. Even better. The warehouse needs to get rid of supplies, right?
Uh-huh.
So that they don't get stolen. She needs her stuff back. What if we use the warehouse's supplies as bait for the Razorbacks?
I mean, other than the fact that we might lose more supplies, okay.
I mean, and then I think I might be able to get some people that can help us.
Like someone who can drive a horse?
One of my brothers. I got 30 of them. I can use one.
And we have our horseman here.
Yes.
So,
well, actually, so we have a horseman, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't really need to be driven, do you?
No. I'm pretty... I know what I'm doing when I'm turning into other things. At least I should. I got it. I believe in myself.
At least you hire gnomes and halflings a lot, right? It's like, well, of course. I try to help the smaller folk like me for my drivers. It's like, we have a gnome that is traditionally used as her driver.
Yeah, but the first person they're going to want to attack is...
Oh, sweetheart, I can take care of myself. The only issue is Neil and Redmaw are definitely guard worthy. Like, Redmaw, if I saw you guarding a door or a caravan, I would avoid it altogether. Neil, I would point at something shiny and then take it, but I would never come at you, like, to your face. But Tara, you're not exactly...
I'll be the currency. I'll sit in the back and be the treasure they have to go and capture.
And if we want to conceal Neil and Redmaw, we could always put them with the cargo that we're hauling.
Well, they could just walk beside it and be guards.
Oh, what? I have to walk?
Hold on, Neil. But the object of this little scheme is to lure the bandits out so we can take back the goods, yes?
And point. As they would know it's worth more if it has an armed personnel.
But they would also, just as Rosalie just said, if they saw a red mall guarding a door, they're gonna think twice about, going inside or trying to break it in. Same thing about the carrot.
Austyn, you misread me. What I meant is Red Maul looks like somebody who would be hired to be a guard. Neil also looks like somebody that would be hired to be a guard. Tara does not.
Yeah, no, I'd be the treasure. I'd be the thing inside being transported.
Well,
Okay.
or the annoying thing that people want to shut up. Not me, just other people.
Got it. That makes
I
sense.
like
Yeah.
this place. I don't have to walk, and yeah.
But do you still want to use the 5 days to see if we can get further on the kobold trick? It'll give at least time to get a cart and things ready because
Well, we have.
she does at least does say I do need to get my cart fixed because it did take damage last time.
And it'll give us time because the bandits gave her a week, so it'll seem more natural if we use the whole time instead of just like, oh yeah, here you go. Because it'll just seem more natural.
Well, it seems more like we're sending these to go to the capital rather than give them their resources.
Well, we have 5 days to plan this out. She needs to repair her cart. We still have to investigate the warehouse, and we have 5 days to plan it out.
Alright. In the meantime, we should probably stock up for this set of kobold, whatever the heck is going on, and the blue dragon that may or may not be going around town.
Yes, I actually have notes about that. Let's
Perhaps we should elsewhere?
let's go. There is a park, not a park, but like a garden area nearby. Let's go all sit there, and I will share with you the information I have gathered. Um, my brothers have said that if we need more potions, we can go to them, and they have about 3 to 4 more potions for us. So we'll have that taken care of. But shall we?
Sounds like a plan.
As you were, you know this town.
If she does, take you to a nice garden area. It has a good tree. There's actually they also have a stone bench, like 3 or 4 stone benches that you guys can sit at, and it seems to be a religious spot, but it is what it is. There are a lot of religious symbols all around the town. If you all will have a seat.
Can Tara take a look at the symbol?
Which symbol?
The symbol that you just were talking about that may or religious?
No, the garden seems like a religious.
Oh, okay.
Seems
I
like
misunderstood.
you're probably guessing something Melora related because of the plants and stuff.
Okay.
That doesn't require a roll. It's you're thinking who else would they have all this stuff for? Maybe Paylor, but that's about it. All right.
Are we sitting like on the ground, or is there like benches, or?
There's stone benches.
Okay.
Yep. So as you guys sit down, Rosalie will sit down on the ground, so she'll sit down in the middle of you guys and pull out a journal. Rosalie flips open her thick journal, pages full of diagrams, notes, inks, and ink-stained sketches. She carefully pulls a small folded piece of parchment between the pages. On the pages, a drawing of the blue scale the party found at the farm. She adjusts her glasses slightly. I started with where any reasonable investigator should, with the evidence we already had. She taps the drawing the scale. I took the scales we found to my brother's shop. He allowed me to use several identification tools and references text. She turns the journal to so the party can see the rough sketch of the scale next to a few notes with an gnomish shorthand. These results were interesting. She pauses briefly. These scales absolutely belong to a creature of dragonkin origin. Most specifically, they match the structure and pigmentation patterns of blue dragon lineage. She flips a page to show a small comparison sketch of the different dragon scales. However, the scale's size tells us something. She points to the measurement note. The creature is young. Very young. Maybe even a wormling. Fresh from the egg. Definitely not a mature dragon either. Definitely not a mature dragon or an elder dragon. Rosalie leans back slightly. Now, there are two possibilities. She raised two fingers. The first is that the scales come from a crafted armor or equipment made from the blue dragon's hide. The lower one, she lowers one finger. The second possibility, she pauses, is that there is a young blue dragon somewhere near Stormhollow. She closes the journal halfway. Personally, I'm hoping for the armor.
I doubt it.
So what do you guys
One can
think?
still help.
What do you guys think of that information?
It definitely coincides with what we found at the farm. So now all I guess we do is prepare for.
I have more. I'm just giving us time to discuss the scales.
Well, I mean, Red Mole, you should know some stuff about dragons, yeah?
No.
No? Are you like pulling my leg over here or something?
No, I'm not.
Salamander.
What? You're a dragonborn. You surely know stuff about dragons.
He does kind of have a point, Red Mall.
I can assure you I don't.
Red Mall, roll a history check.
Sure.
Because you may not be their kin, but you are technically created to fight them.
6.
You're not even sure, like,
Ooh.
what. You don't even know if there's. You don't know why you don't have your wings yet. You are still expecting to become a dragon someday. And you're a little bit sour that you haven't.
I'll tell you, I don't know anything about the dragons.
As I said, you're just a big salamander.
And specifically, George, you don't like the blue dragons. You're like, red dragons are where it's at.
Personally, I think the dragon would be better if it was red.
So, like paint?
No.
Rosalie does chuckle, and then Rosalie flips another page in her journal. This one filled with messy notes, arrows, and several names circled in ink. She sighs slightly. After confirming the nature of the scales, I decided to spend the rest of my time speaking with the people of Stormhollow. She taps the page with her finger. Most of what I heard was unhelpful. She gives a small apologetic smile. Quite a few people seem to enjoy speaking poorly of poor Edwin. Many of them have never even met the man, which makes the whole thing rather unproductive. Turns the page, but in the middle of all the gossip, one detail kept appearing. She points to three names written in careful script: Maribel Thatch, Old Nan Whitlock, Greta Willowfin. 3 older women who insist they saw something strange in the sky several weeks ago. Rosalie adjusts her journal slightly. Naturally, I interviewed them. She raises a finger. Individually first. It's the best way to determine whether people are simply repeating what they've heard. He flips to the next page. Then I spoke to them again, together, to compare their stories. She looks up at the party. Surprisingly, their accounts matched. She lifts 3 fingers. They all agree on 3 things. First, the creature was flying. Second, it was blue. She paused briefly. They all claim it descended from the sky, landed somewhere outside of the town, and then took off again shortly afterwards. Rosalie closes her journal, keeping her thumb in place. Now, normally I would dismiss stories from excitable witnesses. She gestures lightly toward the earlier drawing of the scale, but when those accounts are paired with the scale we found, she lets the sentence saying, I believe we should seriously consider the possibility that a young blue dragon has passed through the region recently. She leans back slightly, or at the very least, something very closely related to one. She then lit up. The Rosalie flips to another page in her journal. This one has few notes, a small question marked down in her margin. She frowns slightly. There is one more piece of information I uncovered, though I cannot confirm it with completely. She taps the page thoughtfully. While speaking with several of the older residents in Stormhollow, I had heard repeated mentions of old tunnels beneath the town. And she shrugged slightly. Apparently they were used years ago for storage, drainage, and possibly even smugglers moving goods through the port. Rosalie turns her journal so the party can see the rough sketches of streets with a few lines drawn beneath them. However, these tunnels were sealed off many years ago. She taps another note with written beside the sketch. Several storms caused heavy flooding underground, collapsing portions of the passages and making them unsafe. According to what I've been told, the town council ordered the remaining entrances shut. They said that she closed the journal halfway. That said, she hesitates slightly. I was unable to confirm whether all the tunnels were sealed. Rosalie glances around the around the yard. And considering what we have already found kobolds digging tunnels beneath a farm nearby, I believe it's possible they may have discovered one of these abandoned passageways. She leans forward. If that's true, they could potentially move beneath Stormhollow without anyone noticing. She pauses, which would explain how they managed to steal livestock and supplies without leaving many tracks. If you would like, you guys can discuss this while I go to use the restroom.
Okay. So I'm trying to think here, but he said that a dragon, or possibly dragon, whatever, we're just gonna pretend that this thing is a dragon, because some people said that it was flying and dragons fly. Correct me if I'm wrong. But how would a scale show up on some random farm without someone seeing this dragon? Because I'm assuming it was possibly flying or something. If that was in the sky, something so abnormal, someone would probably see it.
In character, out of character.
This was in character.
Well, I don't know how big a worm is, but from the account, it's three elderly women who apparently are excited quite too often about dragons. And if memory serves, the Good Barrel was saying the same thing. These three same women. Now, we can try and go and get information from them just like Rosalie did. Or we could go through the tunnels, but here's the question and a possibility we can look into. Does anyone here know how to read a map?
Rosalie lifts her hand up.
I'm pretty confident I could learn quick.
I'm sure I can figure it out.
Okay.
No.
Well, people have been saying there's a mayor here, and they have to have records of these sealed tunnels. Whether they want it on the books or off the books, they have to have a record of these at some point or another.
Rosalie does also say, and we can also talk to someone who works on the infrastructure of the town. And this was several years ago that they closed them, right, Tara? So maybe we go find somebody who worked on the closing of these tunnels personally. Again, the governor might have information on that as well. He's called the governor, but he has the same authority as a mayor, but we call him the governor.
Well, I mean, the reason I suggest going to the governor or whomever, the person in power giving us something would not be illegal, and it'd be good to have them in our pocket and possibly help them out. In which case, we could go to a local city worker who may have worked on it. They give us information, we have to give them something, and they have no power nor say.
Oh,
and we still breaking the law.
there's no reason why not to go to both. Maybe go to the governor first, and then maybe the governor sends us to go talk to one of these two individuals. But here's what concerns me. So kobolds are known to revere dragons, especially those close to their lineage. In many cases, they serve them willingly. To answer Tori's red ball briefly when mentioning dragons. If a young blue dragon truly passed through this area, it's entirely possible a group of kobolds followed it and were drawn to it. She pauses for a moment. Kobolds are clever in a particular way. They're not powerful individuals, but they are extremely good at digging and trapping and building small hidden networks, just as towards the notes in the tunnel about the tunnels. If they discovered or expanded the old tunnels beneath Stormhollow, they could move freely underground without stealing supplies and while stealing supplies and livestock from the surrounding farms. It taps the rune sketch. So as for the ritual, that is the part that concerns me the most. She frowned slightly. The runes were to draw nutrients and vitality from the snake itself. She pauses. That kind of magic is rarely used by kobolds on their own. She looks back to the party, which suggests one of two things. Either someone else is directing them, or they attempting to empower something. She glances down at the blue scale sketch again, possibly a dragon. If it's true, then what we encountered at the farm may only be the edge of something larger.
Well, there's that, and then there's another thing. You said this scale comes from a wormling, a baby dragon?
I said it could. I can't
Right.
I can't determine where on the body it came from the dragon, because dragons will have small scales on their claws and big scales on their body. So I know it didn't come from a ancient dragon or even an adult, which, to be fair, if there's an adult dragon or ancient dragon in town, we might as well just move.
Just in general, though, they're these scales that look to be fairly small, whether it be a little dragon or a wormling. I wouldn't think a baby dragon nor a wormling would be able to instruct kobolds smart enough within a town to make said runes on a snake.
Here's
I mean, it's
here,
incoherent.
here's another theory. What if the blue dragon did come? What if it was hurt? All right, they said it landed, right? The ladies say it landed down north of here, right? What if this blue dragon was hurt and had a baby or an egg? And wanted to protect its egg. It's likely that it probably saw the snake as not necessarily a motherly type, but something that can nurse and get the egg to hatch, and she would come back for her baby. But then what if the kobolds stole the egg? Because they follow the dragon, because as I've said, they revere dragons. And what if there's a blue dragon looking for its baby? What if there's, as we've determined, there's probably a female snake around here somewhere thinking one of its eggs is missing? And what if the kobolds are following the instructions of some magic knowledge person that's under the town that could have snuck in on any of these ships in the last years and is trying to raise its own dragons? Dragons are very intelligent creatures, so it would be hard to do that. Or what if this person says, "Oh, I killed all these kobolds. I brought your dragon back. Let's be allies." While chromatics are very, what's the word I'm looking for, greedy, they have been known to make deals from time to time. Any of those possibilities are possible, and all of them worry me more. Because it speaks to the laziness of Stormhollow, especially of recent.
That is quite a convoluted plan. At least for what we have now, but
What
I can see
what
how you would.
what I will say is the kobolds are not doing this on their own. Kobolds are
Obviously,
they're smart
kobolds
enough.
are nowhere near.
They're smart
Smart
enough to
enough
make
to do
traps.
something
They're
like
smart
that.
enough to make they are smart enough to make the traps. They are smart enough to make the tunnels, and they are smart enough to recognize that that egg is not a snake egg. I will tell you that much. They are smart enough to know that, but they are not smart enough for this magic. They are not smart enough for this plan. Someone is instructing them to do all this stuff because normal kobolds are not raiding a town of this size by themselves. Even a hobgoblin, even if there's a hobgoblin in town, kobolds generally side with goblins and orcs. Hobgoblins are smart enough to concoct this, and hobgoblins have been known to dabble in magic here and there.
Well,
You
here's
guys,
the question:
at
where do we?
least just mentioned that her magical items have been missing, right? What if somebody
Mhm.
found a book that had this ritual in it?
Well, that'd be very fucking lucky for them. Unless they had a ledger, which would narrow it down to 3 people, which we'd talk to 2 of them.
Come on, Hera. Luck is just a Friday night for people around here. I mean, you're right. You're right. They can't get that lucky, Tara. It's not like we're in a story or anything like that or a book.
Well, then again, we'd still have to get the ledger, which we can't do without a license legally. So, unless someone wants to be sneaky and get a peek at that ledger,
I wonder if I know any sneaky fellows.
See, we have a
I wonder
sneaky.
who that could be.
We have one sneaky person that can't read very well and wouldn't know what magical item to look for.
but we have a sneaky person that can go and get the ledger and hand it to someone who can read the ledger.
Okay, now I can't tell if you guys are talking about me or someone else.
But how do we know that sneaky person is gonna find the right ledger?
Kill all the ledgers. All right.
Sounds like we need to go over some reading lessons with the sneaky person.
Sounds like I need to write in grand detail.
Just tell me the plan before we go in and I can figure it out, guys.
Or Tara uses her magical words on the governor and we get permission to see the ledger ourselves.
I mean, I had said we go to the ledger. I mean, go to the governor.
I vote we go to the governor first, just so we can get a chance to do this all legally, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. But
If we fail at that, we can do it the illegal way. I've always wanted to get away from my family. Life in prison will do it.
Oh, so I'm just some backup plan, huh?
yes.
Well, you're more like Plan C, but yes.
Well,
See? Okay. What?
See, Neil, no, you're not the backup plan. See, you're our primary plan to break into the kobold's lair. And if for that to happen, we need you to not be in prison to breaking into the town hall. Makes sense? And if you're in town hall, if you're in the prison for breaking into town hall, you can't really help us to break into the kobold area. Right?
Okay, whatever.
Should we also ask the governor?
Or we could just use Red Maul and have him go kill everybody, and then we can get the ledger. If everyone's dead, no one can stop us from getting the ledger.
I don't think Red Maul can do that. As good as he is, I don't think he can.
Hera, he can at least distract them long enough that.
For just personal gain.
Long enough for what? For you and me to grab the ledger?
Yeah. Or a boat pass if things go south.
I'll throw in my personal bodyguard on a whim.
Thank you.
Loyal enough that I don't have to pay him.
Neil, you're no longer
Look at
Neil. You're no longer Plan C. You're Plan B. Red Mall's Plan C.
No, Red Mall is Plan B. Neil is still Plan C.
Bro, if Red Bull is Plan B, then I better be Plan A.
No, Plan A is to do it the legal way.
And you were saying killing people is the option before trying to take it
I said
legally?
Red Mall being a distraction is option B.
I am saying killing people is option C. He's saying killing people is option B. And actually, we don't need Red Ball to be the distraction. Technically, he can be option D. Because option C could be Ophian turning into a...
Option A, if we need to, we can go through any of the other letters.
Yes. But, Tara, we both agree. Option E is me and you just get out of town. Any way possible.
I like this idea. I have to keep you alive.
Option E is
We're
just...
just getting used as pawns at this point.
You would, Neil?
Listen, Neil.
Huh?
Neil, I want you to look at me. Look at me. You are not a pawn. At best, at worst, you're a bishop.
Ooh.
No, you're a
Look at
knight
that.
because they never see you
He's a
coming.
rook. He's a rook. He thinks in straight lines.
No, the guy who's built like a fucking castle is a rook.
Okay, guys, I
He's
don't know
more
what
of
his terms. This is
He's more of a knight. And then you got the guy who's willing to do weird shit with animals, so I mean, that's not really straight. That's
What? What? What the heck?
I'll be the queen, and I guess you're the king, Rosalie. Or the pawn? I mean, you are the
I'm
size
not
of a...
gonna blow that off. Who? No, no one's going to do any weird things with any animals. If they do, I'll kill them.
I'm saying you
Didn't
do
your
weird
brother just say you can't kill people for that stuff?
I don't care. If you start doing weird things to animals, I'm going to kill you. My brother, he'll get over it.
Listen, the only weird thing I'm doing to animals is I'm going to sew them little wizard hats.
That's cute.
Well, hold on. What are you wearing? What type of clothing are you wearing?
Me?
Who are you asking that to?
No, it's Ophian. What type of clothing are you wearing?
This is a it's kind of woven from sheep's wool, but it's also embedded with leaves from my home village. Why, do you ask?
How did you
It's
get
also
the
got a
wool?
bit of- You
Did you?
Yeah, I know
I,
how sheep
I-
are.
I don't think I should have to
Or is it-
explain to you how you get wool from a sheep.
Shear and using the hide, or are you using the wool?
The wool.
Did you make the, or were you given the item?
I was given the item.
Have you eaten animal?
I don't like to, but if I have to,
So you're a vegetarian who won't even wear anything other
hungry
than
enough.
non-domestic and possibly non-harmful products. Okay.
I mean, I'm not. Like I said, I don't like having to harm animals, but I will if I have to. But doing weird things to animals is no. No one's doing any weird things to animals.
All
I'm
right,
surprised you didn't
all
like
right, all right. We are getting off topic. So the plan is
We are.
going to stand up and walk to the town hall. It should be open in about 30 minutes. And we talk to him and see if we can do this the legal way. If we can't do it the legal way, Neil, you're up to bat.
Alright, let's do this
Yeah.
thing.
I don't know what that means. I read it in a book once, something about bats and balls and hitting them. All right, and we will and we will end the session. We will end the session there. Anyone who's if you're listening to this, can you hold on a second, as the next session will begin very shortly. Thank you all for watching. See you then. All right, welcome to part 2 of our episode 1 of our campaign. We're going to continue where we left off. I'm going to start off.
I believe we were discussing going to the governor or mayor, whichever one.
I believe they said that they were both kind of.
Rosalie and Tara was going to the governor, and
We were just kind of following along. We were discussing the plan to get this ledger.
As we're talking, Rosalie does say, one thing we should kind of figure out before we start being official with everything. What's our group name?
The Magic Pack.
Magic? No. No, I don't. We don't got magic here, bro.
You're the only one
Like
without
someone
it.
has a skill issue.
Obviously, it needs to be Neil and the 4 other losers.
I will dunk you in the ocean.
Neil takes steps away from Red Bull.
Red Mall,
Hmm?
go.
Oh wait!
Oh,
Hold on, wait.
Rollis, he's gonna rage.
The-
He's gonna rage and attempt to grab you.
Roll an athletics check. Neil, roll a...
Wait, actually?
I'm gonna give Red Mall a bardic inspiration on this too.
Neil,
Holy crap!
Neil, roll grapple, roll an acrobatics, or a athletics check, whichever one's higher.
Okay.
What is the
Oh my
bardic
god!
inspiration?
I got a
die?
25.
D6.
Even if you get max, you won't win, George.
Yeah, I figured.
Yes.
So Neil is able to barely grip, because it would have been a close score, barely get out of Red Mall's grasp.
Neil runs over to Ophian and shoves him closer to Red Bull, and he's like, "Ophian, do something! This guy's attacking me!"
Ophian's going to stand there kind of bewildered at the raging dragonborn, unsure of what's going on.
Come now, Ophian. You would like to see your brother dunked in the ocean, would you not?
I don't know.
He lost a bet and you wanted him humiliated, did you not?
I feel like I don't know.
Would you like to help Red Mall do it? You can personally dunk him in the ocean.
Yes,
It doesn't matter who does it.
That would be hilarious, but I feel like we should really, really stay focused. I guess. I don't know.
Listen, we can change the name to Neil and the 4 other so decent people. It doesn't have to be the other way.
Okay, Neil, you should probably stop being an idiot right about now.
Red Mall tries to grab you again.
Please.
With the checks, by the way, George, that will stick around for quite a while.
Okay. I got the same one. So.
Well, you don't re-roll when it comes to these kinds of checks. You don't re-roll each time. You just keep the same check you did have, so he will still escape from it.
Okay.
In any case, Ophian, you were gonna say something?
I don't. No, I wasn't gonna say anything. Sorry.
Well, as for name, we have all have a few things to think about. We can either go with something simple for the time being, or we can just, attempt to do what we were planning on doing. We can go ahead and talk to the governor, but then that leaves a lot of you doing nothing.
But Rosie says, I have an idea for a name. So we met in Stormhollow, right? And
We met you in Stormhollow.
And we're trying to protect Stormhollow. Or help Stormhollow. What about the Storm Wardens?
No.
Arcane Vanguard?
I like Arcane, but not Vanguard.
The Silver Compass.
Why silver?
Silver is a component in magical items. Magical spells.
And it's also currency.
I believe the word.
I just imagine.
I believe the term golden compass is taken. I think that's all I'm gonna put.
I like to imagine as you guys are discussing this, I'm just chasing you around, trying to grab.
Yeah, literally just dodging and weaving.
Yeah, literally. Like I just want to point that out. Like this is still happening.
Ophian? Staring into space.
Wow.
Yeah, let's just circle back to this. In any case, if we are to do anything, we should probably split the party. I don't think this is going to be allowed in the courthouse. Points to Neil and Redmull.
Let's imagine Neil's running away for his life.
Just start climbing a tree.
Rosalie says, yes, Ophian, you seem to have a good grasp of people's intentions and moral stances. Why don't you take your brother and you two go to the market? There's a stall where there's an elderly gnome sitting there. She's one of them. Then there's a clothing store called. Let me, real quick, pull it up.
In the meantime, I'll snap my fingers and say, Redmull, heal.
Thatches, tailored thread. There's the ladies that witnessed the dragon. They're all in the area. That area. And I can tell you where to find them each.
Revolt just turns the chair and goes, "Excuse me."
Look, he's hiding up in the tree like a cat. You have a hard time climbing as it is. He's just gonna sit up there. And if you're gonna play the dog and him gonna play the cat, we don't have time for this. Come on, heal. Come on.
Like he's just very patient, just wait for him to come down.
Oh my gosh. You want a bone too?
Nah.
Yes, Rosalie, I think that would be a pretty good idea. Also, if I could, I'd like to talk to you about something when we have a bit of free time.
Sure. We'll meet up for lunch at the gilded the tavern we were just at.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. She does tell you you're looking for a shop, 3 shops. Something called Thatches Tailored Threads, which is in a wooden building. It's a clothing store. Whitlock's Rustic Remedies, which is a like a herbalistic shop, and Greta Willowfin's Wandering Wanderers, which is like a cart, and they'll all be in the market area. They'll be easy to spot.
Got it.
And me and Red Mall, he's not gonna be a problem in the town hall, right?
I
No.
look at Red Mall and I go and say, it depends.
Because I sort of live
If
here.
there's any more Neils around, he might go and chase them like cats.
Me, Red Mall,
Oh my
and
god.
Tara will head to the town hall, and talk to this governor
Have you met the governor?
a couple times.
Is he? How would you describe him?
He's very business oriented.
So he's not the type that will grab me by the ass when I go in there and talk to him.
Probably not.
Okay, good. I guess.
I mean, he could be possessed by a demon that ends up grabbing you by the ass, but 90% sure he won't be doing that.
Out of character, could you give me the name of the shop one more time?
There are 3 shops.
Okay.
That, Thatch's Tailored Threads, Whitlock's Rusted Remedies,
Mm-hmm.
and Willowfin's Wandering Wanders.
Thank you. I just needed it for my notes.
Alright. And actually, is there anything else, anyone?
Rebel's walking away from the tree and goes back to the party.
As since we decided where we're gonna go, you guys, the 3 of us will go to the town hall, and the other 2 will go to the market. And actually, the people will reach Neil and Ophin will reach the market first. So we'll do their stuff first. As you make your way toward the heart of the Stormhollow, the streets slowly grow busier until the road opens into the town's central market square. Colorful canvas stalls line the cobbled plaza, their bright fabrics fluttering gently in the morning sea breeze. Merchants call out to passerby, while townfolks move between stalls carrying baskets, crates, and bundles of goods. The smell of fresh breads, smoked fish, and spiced tea fill the air. A baker pulls steaming loaves out from a portable oven, while across the way a fishmonger loudly advertises the morning catch: silvered scaled fish, glistening over beds of crushed ice. Farmers from nearby fields unload wagons filled with vegetables, carrots, onions, potatoes, and bundles of herbs, stacking them neatly across wooden tables. Children weave through the crowd, chasing each other while a pair of town guards stand near the fountain at the center of the square, keeping a casual watch over the morning bustle. Despite the living atmosphere, a few quieter conversations drift through the crowd. You catch a fragment as you pass, and another shipment missing. Warehouse says it happened again. Storm's coming tonight, too. Bad time for trade. A few merchants glance nervously toward the road that leads down towards the warehouse district before returning to their work. Still, life goes on. The market hums with activity as the town begins its day, voices overlapping, coins changing hands, wagons rattling across stone, and the gulls circling overhead from the nearby harbor. Stormhollow may be worried, but the town is still very much alive. What would you like to do?
Busy streets here, Neil. Anything that sticks out to you?
Not really. Just a bunch of food. What are we doing
I
here again?
see.
I don't remember what
We're
we're doing
looking for
here.
the shops that Rosalie told us to.
Yeah, I
You
definitely
at least remember the
that.
names, don't you?
Definitely.
Okay. What's the name of the second shop that we're supposed to be going to?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, that is the name. Yes.
Yes.
A shop named Yes would be very, very profitable.
Yeah, you have any idea where it is?
I don't know. Maybe it's over there in the ocean.
Yeah, you think I must be stupid if I go hop in the freaking ocean, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, maybe you should go there first. So yeah, show me the way.
okay. This fucking turn into a fish or something. God. Anyways, Othean's going to make his way down the market and begin looking for Thatch's tailored threads first.
If you would like to roll a perception roll, if Neil is actually assisting you, you can do it with advantage. If Neil is too distracted, just regular.
I mean, if Ophian would have told Neil the name, he would have been helping looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
But like, Neil does it though with the story.
Oh. So that's a 9.
So this isn't about failure or success. It's just determining how long it takes. It does take you a lot longer than it should have to find this building, and when you do find it, you're kind of embarrassed because it's one of the bigger buildings in the area. As you walk along the market street, one particular store of rent stands out among the stone and timber buildings around it. Thatch's Tailored Threads. It is a cozy two-story wooden shop nestled between a bakery and a small apothecary. The building is constructed from dark, weather-worn timber beams and light wooden planks, fitted between them. The structure showing the kind of careful craftsman that stood against many coastal storms. The rooftop slopes steeply in the thick straw thatch, giving this in a thick straw thatch, possibly giving the shop its name. Small bundles of dried reeds line the edges of the roof, tightly to keep the wind from lifting them during heavy storms off the sea. A painted wooden sign hangs from an iron bracket above the door. The sign depicts a needle and a spoon of thread crossing like swords, with a neatly stitched shirt hanging between them. The lettering beneath reads in elegant script, Thatch's Tailored Threads. Large front windows frame careful arranged mannequins dressed in finely tailored coats, travel cloaks, embroidered vests, and colorful scarves that sway gently whenever the door opens. Bolts of vibrant fabric can be seen stacked neatly just inside the window, deep blues, rich burgundies, forest greens, and soft cream linen. A small wooden bench sits beside the door, clearly meant for waiting customers, and a basket beside it holds scraps of cloth in bright colors, likely for work repairs. From inside, faint sounds of snipping scissors and a steady rhythm of a sewing needle occasionally drift through the door along with the warm smell of pressed fabric and dye. Despite the salty air of Stormhollow, the shop itself looks immaculately maintained. Its wood polished and its sign freshly painted. Whoever runs this place clearly takes pride in their work.
Is
Well,
that it?
is
I'm just like clarifying. Like, is it good to like go
Yeah.
do stuff or? Okay. So, just to be clear, we're looking for someone, or
well, we can look for the shop owners who saw the dragon, try to get more information like that, or even if it was a dragon.
all right, I got you.
Oh, no. Or we could continue to prepare for our journey.
You want to go
As
shopping now?
it's killing two heads of a hydra with one stone.
I see.
So, obviously we're here mainly for information, but it wouldn't be bad to pick up some things while they're here. If they are of use, of course. Just keep that in mind as we go in, please. Ophian enters the store.
Soft jingle of brass bell announces your arrival. You stepped into Thash's tailored threads. The air immediately smells of clean linen, pressed fabric, and faint traces of dye and lavender used to keep the cloth fresh. Warm morning light pours through the large front windows, illuminating rows of neatly arranged fabrics that line the walls. From the floor to ceiling, bolts of cloth sit stacked on wooden shelves, deep blues, sea greens, burgundy reds, soft creams, and patterned silks that shimmer slightly when the light catches them. Along one wall stand several wooden mannequins, each dressed in finely tailored pieces, travel cloaks reinforced at the shoulders, fitted jackets, and with careful embroidery. Elegant dresses, practical shirts, clearly made for long journeys. Near the center of the shop rests a large work table covered in tools in the tools of the craft. Silver tailoring scissors lie beside coils of measuring tape, pin cushions, and chalk used for marking patterns. Several pieces of fabric have been partially cut and pinned together, the beginnings of someone's next outfit slowly taking shape. Behind the table sits a sturdy foot-powered sewing machine, its polished metal parts gleaming from frequent use. Powered toward the back of the shop, a curtain of dark cloth hangs across a small doorway leading to what appears to be a fitting room, while narrow staircase nearby likely leads to the second floor of the building. Everywhere you look, the shop feels orderly, thoughtful, and carefully maintained. Nothing seems out of place, even the scraps of cloth resting in a small basket near the counter are neatly folded by color and size. This is clearly a workshop for someone who takes pride not just in clothing, but in the craft itself. From somewhere behind the counter comes the steady rhythm of fabric being stitched together. You and then let's see. You see her standing there. You believe it's Marable Thatch. She stands behind a neatly arranged stall draped in vibrant silks and sturdy woolens. Her warm hazel eyes dart between you and the work she is currently doing, and her fingers, dusted with chalk, tap in time to the lightly breeze that flutters the banners above her work. Customers, right? Hi. I am Miss Marable Thatch. Welcome to my store. Normally don't get customers this early. How may I help you?
Hello. We're here to inquire about an ongoing investigation.
Investigation?
Yeah,
Did
according...
I do something wrong? I swear my
No.
codes are up to date. My rent's paid. What?
Well,
Ignore this, loser. We were told that you saw a dragon.
Dragon?
That's... yeah, well, kind of, technically, basically.
You mean
We
that
are
big blue
working
thing
with...
that flew over the hills a few weeks back? Wings like sails on a storm ship? Landed out past northern farms and took off again not long after?
Yes, that matches the description perfectly.
Oh, what would you like to know? It was one of the most interesting things I've seen, other than that old guy in the grape.
Hmm. We'd like to know how roughly big. Well, I know you described it, wings as big as sails,
Bigger,
but
much bigger than a horse, but smaller than a house. Big enough, you notice it if it landed in your field, like you would have felt it if it landed.
got it. So the size of roughly a shed.
Maybe a shed, maybe a small house, but not a standard house.
Okay. if that's the case, then it's probably still young, Neil.
Did it breathe fire?
I didn't see. Whenever I see
Oh.
anything that looks like it might be a dragon, I tend to not go near it.
Did you happen to see any places of interest near? Well, do you remember any places of interest near where you saw it?
I mean, it was north of town, past the farms. It was in the rocky hills that rest up there.
I
Had
see.
had
Could
to be.
you?
You know, dragons like. I've heard dragons like their mountains.
They do. Any part of the mountains that like it was going to specifically, or just
Well, they're not
did it seem
mountains.
clear?
They're hills with giant rocks all over them.
I see.
But a dragon might claim it as a mountain, especially if it's smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So it just landed into the farm? Did it like do anything, or did it just like land, like chillax and then leave?
I don't know. I mean, it was there for a few minutes, long enough to land and stretch its wings, maybe.
Okay.
Didn't see it. Didn't see it hurt anyone. Just landed and left. That sounded like rolling thunder over the seas. There were like little tiny shapes moving around it though, but they were too small to make out.
Those are probably the kobolds.
Kobolds.
Don't worry about it. This is still technically part of the investigation. Very, very secret. You must not tell
Roll
anyone.
roll a persuasion check.
I totally got this with my +0. Holy crap, 18.
When you mean don't tell anyone about what I saw, or what that it might be kobold? Because I've told everybody what I saw.
Don't tell anybody about the kobolds. We don't need panic going around.
Give me a second, guys. I will go use the restroom. You and Neil carry on.
Got it. So, Neil, from what I'm seeing of this, I want to ask her one last question before we move on to the next job, and that's I want to know if this is like a worm or an actual young dragon that we're dealing with. I don't
Didn't she
expect
say it was a dragon though?
much. I mean, she said it was a dragon, but there's differences between the two. The main thing I want to ask is if she saw it when she saw it spread its wings, did it still have all four legs on the ground, or did it have only two legs on the ground? I want to know more about its biology.
I'm back.
Okay. And I have one last question for you, Miss Thatchett. When you saw this dragon land, Miss Thatch, my apologies. When you saw this dragon land, how many legs did it have?
I'm not even sure if it was a dragon. It was big and it was several miles in the distance. I just saw it. It was blue, and it matched the description of a dragon, but I couldn't see that close to it.
I see. Thank you very much for your time.
Miss Whitlock, Nan Whitlock, her store is like a small tent. It's right across the market way. She saw it too.
Thank you very
What's
much.
this store called?
Whitlock's Rusted Remedies.
Awesome. Thank you.
You guys gonna purchase anything, or is that it?
I'll browse. I'll see what the store has to offer.
Give me a
Yeah,
second.
well, we can look around real quick. If there's like, I'm assuming it's like a clothing shop by what you described it. Is there like anything like while we're looking, is there like anything that kind of just looks a little goofy?
Let me pull her thing up. I mean, other than the mannequins, maybe. You see a lot of common clothes. You see some traveling attire, fine clothes, some scarves, leather gloves, dye kits. Um, I mean that's about it.
How much would this die kit run me?
About 5 gold.
I'll take it.
All right. I don't know if it's in the inventory, but if it's not, we'll figure a way to add it to your character sheet later.
Mm-hmm.
She's like,
Thank you very much.
what color?
Green.
She does hand you about 6 or 7 sheets of green, like not sheets of green, but like different shades of green.
Got it. Thank you.
Ignore my small children audience.
I didn't say anything.
We didn't say nothing. Yes, thank you. We'll be heading to Miss Whitlock's shop now.
All right. So
Well, that went okay.
as you move across the market square, the wooden storefronts begin giving way to a row of covered canvas stalls and traveling merchants. Among them stands a tent that is immediately catches your attention. A weathered wooden sign hangs from a crooked pole planted beside the entrance. The lettering is hand painted in looping green letters that read Ritlock's Rusted Remedies. The shop itself is a large canvas tent stitched together from several shades of green and tan fabric. Its ropes tied tightly to wooden stakes hammered into the cobblestone. Small bundles of dried herbs hang from the ropes like decorations, rustling softly whenever the wind moves through the market. From outside alone, you can smell it. A mixture of mint, sage, crushed lavender, and something slightly brighter than that tickles your nose. Glass bottles and clay jars sit arranged on a wooden table outside a tent, each filled with powders, roots, dried leaves, or thick herbal paste. Small handwritten labels are tied to each with bits of twine. Some read cold relief tonic, traveler's stomach aid, sleep well tea. A small wooden stool sits near the entrance beside a battered mortar and pestle stained with years of use. The canvas flaps of the tent are pulled open, revealing a dim interior where shelves and hanging racks are packed with bundles of plants, jars of strange liquids, and bundles of roots that look freshly harvested. Thin streams of smoke curl from a small clay burner inside, carrying the scent of burning herbs into the morning air. Despite the rustic appearance, the stall looks busy and well used, like a place locals visit often when something aches, stings, or refuses to heal on its own. And somewhere inside you can hear the quiet grinding of herbs being crushed together. Dan Whitlock is clearly at work.
I like the look of this shop.
Eh,
Eh. God.
yeah.
Well, let's head inside.
Alright. You slip inside Whitlock's Rusted Griminy, a tiny canvas hut draped in a faded storm blue cloth patches. The air carries a tang of damp earth and crushed petals, and a single lantern casts dancing shadows on shelves packed with glass vials, dried sprigs, and dusty powders. A chipped wooden counter holds an open mortar and pestle alongside a smattering of herbs labeled in flowering script. In one corner, a soft glowing liquid pulses inside a rune-etched flask. Perched behind the counter is Nan Whitlock, surveying the room with sharp gray eyes, carefully weighing a sprig of mistletoe in her stained leather apron. Through the hut feels cramped. You sense expertise in every dusty jar. She offers raw ingredients, herb identification, and the wisdom to yield nature's secrets. Nan Whitlock is a slightly middle-aged human woman wearing a stained leather apron over simple linen robes. Her gray flecked hair is bound in a messy bun, and her hands are perpetually dusted with colorful powders. She moves with deliberate care, pausing to inspect a sprig of herb or a vial of glowing liquid. Her sharp eyes taking in every detail. She's noticed she says, "Ah, oh, a creature. Ooh, you are Fey," she says to Ophian.
Yes, I am, and as is my
Yeah, I'm Faye too.
unfortunately related brother.
Adopted, right?
Yes, although we don't really see it as, like that.
Well, you're not
Still
the same
family.
race.
Um,
Well, clearly,
well,
you're not birth brothers.
no. Our past is a little complicated, and
Listen, we didn't come here to talk about us.
yeah, we are here on a kind of investigation.
Oh, come to investigate Miss Nan Whitlock. What, may I ask, did I warrant an investigation?
Nothing. You didn't warrant one, but what you saw does. Do you recall seeing a blue, I guess the best way to describe it would be dragon flying through the sky roughly 3 weeks ago?
Oh, I remember. Clear as day, blue as summer sky, and flying like a storm spirit.
Got it. So where did you last see this dragon?
Uh, it was a little bit north of here. Near the farms.
And you saw, what was the dragon doing when it landed? Or when you saw it?
Hard to say exactly. I mean, it landed behind hills. It's hard to see through hills.
Have you seen the dragon anymore since, or
No.
have you just? Uh, one more question I have. You were absolutely sure it was a dragon, right?
It fits the description.
Um,
So, just to be clear, you saw it in the sky, you saw it land near the farms, and then fly back up into the sky and leave?
Yes.
Or, okay, just that, okay. No breathing fire?
I don't think a blue dragon would breathe fire.
You know, I think you're just a hater. Of course all dragons breathe fire.
No. Poor child, they do not.
Finally, someone understands.
It'd be easy if they did, but they don't all breathe fire. In fact, I believe only 2 dragons breathe fire.
Yes, someone gets it. Anyways, we're currently helping someone with an investigation for this blue dragon. So if you have any details you remember,
There were these tiny things running around it. Like they kept running from where it landed back and forth, and they
do you know
seemed
roughly
to.
how many?
It was hard to make out the shapes. I just saw little tiny things that shouldn't be going anywhere near a dragon going near a dragon.
Weird.
Did you get at all any closer to where the dragon landed?
Are you crazy?
Yes. He is completely crazy.
I won't deny that. Sometimes my curiosity does lead me to do inhumane things, but I'm
Oh, it's not inhumane
just
to go
trying to
near a
cover.
dragon. It's called stupidity.
Whatever. Neil, you ask the
I'm
questions.
80 years old. What am I supposed to do to a dragon?
Say hey. Hey, how's the weather? You know?
I think you best leave this investigation to more qualified people.
Well, it is in the hands of a more qualified person. We're just helping her out.
Oh.
Anyways, thank you for your help. As we are in the store and you look like to have quite the array of medicinal supplies, I would like to browse your wares.
Uh, sh- she doesn't have much, but she has a uh. Basically, she can craft a potus for you, like a small healing vial. Takes her about a minute, and it will heal 1d4 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it costs 2 gold. But she has a bag of bat guano for a silver, mistletoe sprigs for 2 gold, dried ghost orchid petals for 7 gold, wolf fang powder for 5 gold, and belladonna extract diluted for 3 gold.
Hmm.
I definitely know what all that stuff is.
Can I roll either a medicine or nature check to see if any of these spells, any of these components would help me cast any of the spells that I know?
Well, you should be able to go through your spell list and it will tell you what you need. I can probably guarantee you mistletoe maybe you'll need, but I don't think the other ones you'll need.
Okay.
Mistletoe is the most likely one you'll need.
Okay. I'll take three mistletoe and those vials of healing. Those were 2 gold each, yes?
It takes me a minute to make them, and they're 2 gold each, yes.
Okay. Hmm. Better safe than sorry. I'll take 2. Actually,
So,
make that 3 as well.
you will spend 12 gold, mistletoe sprigs, and custom poultice.
Yes, that sounds good. Neil, be sure to remind me to distribute the gold. Oh, wait. Didn't they say they wanted me hanging on to all of it? Neil,
You
remember
have
for me.
all the gold?
Obviously, I have all the gold. You gave it to me. Well, you didn't give it to me, but it was given to me by
Yeah,
someone.
I would
You were
never give
there.
you my gold.
Of course you wouldn't. Just go look for the next shop while I finish up here.
And what's the shop name?
The name of the shop is Willowfin's Wandering Wonders.
It's Wandering Water. Okay, I got it.
Are you sure? Do you need me to repeat that?
No, I got this.
You sure you don't want to ask this lovely lady where?
That's what I was gonna have him do. I was gonna
Okay.
have him go up and ask her if she knew where the place was.
Oh, it is down the road from here. It's a small cart. Miss Whit.
Left, right, forward, backwards. Which road? Like which direction down the road?
I suggest you take a left. You'll find it. Willowfin is hard to miss.
Left while exiting the building or while facing the building?
Oh my god.
Well, that's for you to find out.
I'll find it. Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
All right. As you guys are doing that, we are going to go to the other three.
Red Null,
Mm-hmm.
don't cause a scene. Not like last time.
Which time?
When you bashed the head in of the guy I was trying to have him give money to. We're gonna try and get something from this guy. If he gets upset, you do not need to break his neck.
Okay.
Now, if he tries to do any funny business, you have my permission to, break his neck.
What is your definition of funny business? Because sometimes it changes.
Hmm. We'll just go with if you think something's odd.
Okay.
All right, Rosalie.
So just so you both know, the governor is voted on by the people's by the Empire's choices. So the Empire will give us 3 choices, and we vote one of the 3 choices in.
So
Definitely don't kill him. Or try to. Just don't. But
Okay. Fine.
but anyways, the sound of the town shifts as you walk. Where the nearby streets were filled with clatter of merchants and the chatter of customers, this part of the town is quieter. Wooden homes are in modest businesses line the road, their windows open to cool coastal breeze. Laundry flutters on clotheslines stretched between buildings, and the distant cry of gulls drift in from the harbor. As continue, the buildings slowly grow sturdier. Stone foundation replaced wooden ones, and several larger structures began appearing along the street. Places clearly meant for official business rather than trade. At the end of the road stands the most prominent building in the district, Stormhollow's Town Hall. The structure rises 2 full stories built from thick gray stone reinforced with heavy oak beams. Its tall slate roof slopes steeply to help shed the heavy coastal rains, and a small clock tower rises from the center of the building, its bronze bell hanging silently above the town. A wide set of worn stone steps lead up to the entrance, where a pair of large oak doors stand open to the morning air. Above them hangs the town-carved crest, a lighthouse standing against crashing waves, the symbol of Stormhollow's guiding ships safely along the treacherous coastline. Several townsfolk move in and out of the building, carrying papers or ledgers, with a small pair of town guards stand watch near the steps. Their spears resting carefully against their shoulders as they survey the street. The place carries the quiet authority of a building where discussions are made and problems are brought for resolution. And now you approach the steps. The guard's attention shifts towards your group. Clearly, visitors heading to town hall tend to have business worth hearing. Hi, Alan and Frederick. We're just gonna go talk to Habrecht, about the warehouse situation. All right, Rosalie. I think he's got a few minutes to spare. You can go. You can go on in. And then as you guys enter, give me a second. Let me pull up his sheet. Governor Helen stands in his You enter the building. The building is immaculate. It is just well created, well organized. There are rooms upon rooms. There is tables. with different notes and documents on them. Rosalie two guards open another set of doors when you're inside, and you see him. Governor Halbert Valen stands in his polished office draped in midnight blue coat trimmed with silver waves that echo Stormhollow's tempestuous coast. His steel gray hair is immaculate style, and a gilt sash bearing the town's seal spans his chest. His sharp, pale eyes assess every visitor with cool calculation, and his posture is impeccably straight. One hand resting lightly on an ornate cane carved in the shape of a crashing wave. When the governor Halbert speaks, his voice is calm and measured, each word deliberate as though debating fate itself. There is. Rosalie Cornswallow, the black sheep of a black sheep family. And I see you have brought two people of unusual demeanor into my office. Pray, what have you come with this time? This is. Can I say your name? She leans to Tara. This is
Tara von
Oh, Tara von Blosk, and this is Redmall.
Hi, how are you?
Um, well, this town is prepping for a big storm tonight, and one of the warehouses continues to have problems. So,
Yes, they have already lost 3 of my crates.
what do you have your crates?
Yes, I do dealings with Miss Goodbarrel, and seeing as she's lost some for her stock to bandits, and apparently some stock in your warehouse, I have been called here with my bodyguard, Redmall here, to figure out what is going wrong, why my profits have been dropping, and why I'm gonna be taxed here soon. As for why these things have been going missing.
As you say
And
this,
your
as you say these things, Rosalie takes one big step behind Redmall. He looks at you and says, "Oh, you do business here. So you have crates in the warehouse?
I do dealings with Miss Goodbarrel, yes.
You are taxed for these, right?
I would assume so.
Where's the
I
paper?
would assume that this gets done prior.
Where's your license? Every merchant in the town requires a license.
But I am not from this town.
Yes, every
I do
merchant
dealings
who wishes to pass cargo through this town must submit themselves to me or the dock authority and be licensed.
Do I have that spell? Where is it? Where is it? Yes. I do have that spell. I am going to turn to my pack, and as I go to my pack, I am going to use a spell of illusionary script and pull out a license showing that I have a license to sell.
Let me real quick pull up that.
Because it is a touch spell. Do I need to roll anything like persuasion or deception? Probably deception.
No, you have to roll. I think he has to roll. Yeah, he has to roll a... He has to roll a wisdom check to see if you fooled him. What's your spell DC?
So, save or DC?
Your DC.
How do I fully calculate that? Because I have a modifier of +4, spell attack of +6, and a save of 14.
That's your spell DC. That's the number that they have to roll to beat. If they beat it, then they automatically then succeed.
That sucks. 14.
At level 3, it's pretty low, but level 3, it's actually pretty good. But he got a 17 plus 1, so he has an 18 on his wisdom saving throw. He does look at it and he says, except for the seal is wrong. There's a tax number. The tax code is off. Also, the tax percentage is off. And the name of the dockhand doesn't exist. Because the way the illusionary script works is, while you are able to cast it and write passcodes, it's mostly for passcodes and stuff. For things like this, it's more of a, do you know the information to write in the beginning? Because if you don't, then there's a chance you can fail. And he passed it, so he points it out. It's like, but you know what? It's been 15 years since someone has tried this with me. He waves, and both of the guards walk out. Who, by the way, one of the guards was about to grab you as soon as because he just saw you reach for your bag. And he says, I actually admire this bravery. If you tell me what you're really after, I will do my best to help you. But I do wish this warehouse situation to be fixed. Rosalie does whisper. Rosalie does whisper, I told you he's a very big with business.
Well, there's a few things we would like. We've been hearing about a few different things going on in the town. Personally, we'd like a license to see the ledger of magical items. We would like maps of the hidden tunnels that may concern things that are going on with this possible blue dragon thing that we've been overhearing small tidbits about. And, Rosalie, what were the other few things?
We have a few other issues, like renegades raiding caravans outside city limits, and
Over that.
also giant constrictor snakes being very close to town. Governor Halbert, there's a town problem where it seems like your people, that you and the town don't really, like, they don't feel protected, and we'd like to help them, and it will generate profit for you and profit for the town and make everyone happy. Governor Halbert does not change his posture. His eyes are very hard to read. If you guys want to roll an insight check, you can kind of see what he's rolling, but he is very, very, very hard to read. But he simply sighs and says, I agree with your statements. I have heard about these raids from Miss Elise. I have heard theories about the warehouse. And just recently I overheard Edwin talking about some snake on his farm. Here's the deal. If you can keep this quiet, and if I will tell you a couple leads that you can go talk to. He reaches into his desk, pulls out a small sigil. Anyone who refuses to answer your questions, show them this. Tell them the governor himself has hired you, or recruited you, to look into this. While I cannot promise you payment, because there's rules and laws about the government hiring mercenaries. No offense, that's right now the correct term for you three. You three. Even Rosalie. Which, by the way, Rosalie is the only reason why I am giving you this opportunity. Because I don't believe, as much as she is a strange individual and her family is very strange, that she would jeopardize her standing within the town on something this foolish. Something foolish. I will also send notice to the warehouse workers that later tonight, if you wish, you may investigate it and look and see what you can find. Little bit of warning: we are expecting a storm later tonight. So if you can, just warning you, and they get pretty nasty, right, Rosalie? It's like, yeah. You guys did notice, and Ophian and Neil, you guys have noticed this when you walk into town. Every building, and even the tents that you've seen, they're strapped to the ground. They're so hard embedded into the ground, like, so the way this town hall was built, the stone was built into the ground. They basically glued it to the ground, and then they built it up. You can see that that's probably because storms come and go, and I think a modern example is, think of it like Florida, right? Florida gets hurricanes constantly, right? So the people who live there have built their homes to handle hurricanes, if that makes sense. The people who live here have built their buildings to withstand these storms. And then he continues and says, so, and if you are able to succeed in figuring this situation out, I will put in a good word with you for you guys to the rest of the Empire. Which will help you in other locations. But storm season's here. My people do not have the resources to investigate these, and I don't have the town guard. You do notice that there aren't very many town guard. There's very few, and so he doesn't seem to be dishonest with that one. But he does seem happy to know that there are people he can afford to lose on a situation like this. Meaning that if you do it and you fail, he gets to either continue laughing at you, or he doesn't have to worry because you're dead. But if you succeed, cool. His problem's solved.
So,
What about the magic?
a license, the map.
Derek Stonehand will provide you with a map of the tunnels. As far as the license to look at the magical items, if you complete this warehouse task for me, I will allow Rosalie here to look at the ledger.
You'll give her a license to look at the ledger?
I won't give her a license, she'll get the one look and one look only. I'm not allowed to allow civilians to look at that ledger. It's against the law of this land. But Rosalie's brothers and Rosalie's family delve in this magic, and while, again, I don't agree with their stances on magic, I do acknowledge their willingness to support this town, and I can trust her to not abuse the knowledge she finds in the ledger. Unfortunately, Miss Terra, I don't believe I have the ability to trust you as much. Maybe one day I will. Maybe one day I'll allow. No offense, big guy, you don't really seem like you're that interested in this type of stuff. But I may be wrong. And as for this talk about dragon, I give you full leave. If you think you can, if there's a dragon nearby and you think it's causing problems, if you think you three can handle it, I by no means can stop you. And as Rosalie knows, the laws of the land also dictates that if there are incidences happening outside of city limits, I am not beholden to stop them. But I can offer you 150 gold if you bring me proof of this of the end of this gang. I would like no gangs to be nearby. We already have issues with supposed pirates coming to our shores. I would rather not deal with inland bandits and thugs. So
Is there a bonus for bringing one alive?
no. Again, I
Is
don't
there
want them in the town.
is there a guard roster and guard patrol routes? Be good to know what's safe and what's not. It'd also help us know where the more likely areas where something can go wrong and more areas of which we need to search quicker than not.
For what? The bandits?
They come into town. Apparently, they asked Good Barrel every other week for money or a supply route to go missing within on the trail outside of town.
Gerald? Yes, sir, said one of the guards. Will you please go get Miss Goodbarrel? Bring her to me. Yeah, that's... If they're coming to town, then I can do something about it. But if they're outside of town, I cannot. And as for guards outside of town, our guards do not leave the city limit.
I understand that. I'm wondering if how they get in, because they have to have an idea of how to get in if they're getting in to go talk to her. If we know the route.
Rosalie does perk up and says, Tara, Elise did say that they basically returned the driver and the cart to her with the message. It's essentially how they delivered it to her.
How did they return it? They didn't give her back the horses.
No, they gave her back one of the horses. Uses two. Galbrick says yes. The nearest town is 3 or 4 days away. One horse pulling a cart like that would tire the horse out quite a bit. So they generally use two. And again, I may add, even if these gang members, these ruffians, are coming into town, unless they're doing raiding people, there's not much I can do about it.
What do you want as proof of that as the gang's been dealt with?
Most
You need
gangs,
an ear?
most gangs have a sigil or a letter, or bring me a proof of this attack. whether it's a note about the attack or some sort of documents. Most of the gangs that do live outside of city limits generally are pompous enough to create their own sigil. Bring me one of these tokens, and we'll see.
How would you know if we got rid of a gang if we only brought you a symbol from one person?
The attacks will stop. I won't have elites coming in here every 2 days complaining about it.
Hmm.
Or get one of my guards on their day off. Get a council member if you can find and show them. Whatever you need to do to prove it, prove it.
All right.
Is there anything else?
Not that I think of. Arrow.
None that I want to ask.
Rosalie.
No.
Then I think we're done.
All right. As you guys exit, let me real quick. I will actually end the session here. Thank you all for watching. If you like this, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe if you want to see more, ring the notification bell, and anyone else want to say anything else in the closing?
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
I got nothing.
Well, thanks for listening. I'd be very
Oh,
disappointed if you watched this whole thing because there is no video to watch.
that is true. That is true. Yeah. Gosh, I'm having a Neil moment.
All right.
Okay, guys.
See you all in the next episode.